Good morning, everybody. My name is Vincent Meza. This is Listings to Leads, and this is our class to talk about the top ways to get more listings. And before we dive into that, I usually like to make sure that you're aware of some of the resources that you have to help you get your arms around our platform. First, I'm going to take us to the mastermind group. This is inside Facebook. It's a private group. So if you're not in the group, you won't be able to find it. So the easiest way to get into the group is to go into your support page inside of your listings to leads account and ask the support team to get you in the group. So this is the first thing. I'm also going to point a couple things out here. People are just logging in. And so I want to make sure you are aware. There's a post here from just yesterday about people getting hacked on Facebook and Instagram. And this is really happening a lot lately. I'm having a lot of discussions about that. So I would read this. I would be careful with that stuff. I think if you're getting asked to, log in or kind of to re-log in, I would definitely check, like use your computer instead of your phone or your phone instead, because sometimes they're just they've attacked one device and they haven't really gotten you yet. And really what they're trying to do is get your account and then run ads on. I just spoke to an agent in Los Angeles Friday, who got locked out and thousands of dollars were run on his card running ads that he was not authorizing. So it's kind of a big problem. In the mastermind group, there's also this, which is Scott put it in there last week. We have a new listing presentation. This class is about this is top ways to get more listings. So we're going to talk about this listing presentation in just a minute, but it is in the mastermind group, so you can hear that. And then as another good resource is our YouTube channel. So if you're watching this as a recorded, video, you're probably watching it on our YouTube channel, but every class that we do, including this one, is inside, it's recorded and it's put right here. I'm going to send this to everybody, a link to this right now. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah. Oh, did I get the whole thing? Yeah. Sorry. Give me a second. So you should have a little blinking something on GoToMeeting. I would save this page, and I'm going to tell you that there's a few calls that I do every week, every 2 weeks. And one is Facebook ads, which I did 2 days ago, Facebook ads for buyers and sellers. The other, which is right next to it, is get started, right? And this is really for our new clients, or if you're just trying to get your arms around our platform, get started classes there. And then the top tools to get more listings, which is actually today's class, but it's right there. So that's recorded there. Now this class is being recorded, and so this will be on this page soon. You'll also see some other calls that Scott's doing, like pending and just sold. But actually, this is part of a series of classes on how to make $250,000 in real estate. So it really talks at a high level about all of the avenues that you have available to you through listings to leads, and how to consistently approach those. So I would definitely watch some of those as well, just to get your arms around our system. So let's go to the last resource, which is in some ways the first, but you should just know that this is available to you. We've got a great support team. And at the bottom left of your account on the navigation page is a support tab down. So you can always put in here, please add me to the mastermind group. If you're new to us, and you have listings and they're not auto flowing into your account, I would recommend that you give them an address and say, hey, this is an active listing. Would you pull it in? That way we can set the right code so that we're auto sweeping your listings going forward. But this call today is about the top ways to get more listings. And we're going to dive into the tools here in just a moment, but I did reference that in the mastermind group, we were talking about a new listing presentation. And you can actually see it right here. And it says create listing presentation. I would download this, and I would really recommend that, it's branded to you, right? It's got everything that you need. I would recommend that you read this a few times and get familiar. If you get yourself in a listing presentation, you're going to find that there are it's very hard to compete against our platform. We make it really simple. We spell it out here. You just sort of got to read through it. But I think if you don't really know our platform, it makes some sense just to read this anyway, so that you know what you've got available to you. Obviously, this presentation is designed for you to put in front of the homeowner to let them know what you're bringing to the table to help advertise and market and sell. So this is all there. And, I would definitely recommend it. Like I said, your logo, your color scheme, everything will be on it. And you can see, I just want to kind of mention it. You see the colors and branding here. That's actually pulling from my profile. So if I go here and I go to appearance, I've got this kind of color scheme going on. You can change that. You'll notice that I've got a custom color scheme, but you could also say, hey, you know what? I'm part of one of these organizations and I want to use that system. So I'm going to put that there. If I save that, that's going to show up inside of my listing presentation. Okay. So that's a new tool there. I definitely recommend using it. Definitely recommend using our listing presentation. And let's talk about the top ways to get more listings. So there's a lot of areas in here in listings leads on this navigation bar. We're going to concentrate on three. One is listings, one is ads, and one is landing pages. Okay. So let's start with listing. And I think one thing to note, if you haven't been in this class before, I'm going to go to the mastermind. A lot of people are looking, when it comes to listings, like what's that one solution that's going to help me get more listings? Actually, somebody came in our mastermind group here a couple summers ago and said, who here gets 2 listings or every month strictly from listings to leads, right? It's a decent question. And what is that tool that you attribute your success to exactly? So it's kind of an agent that really didn't want to have to learn our whole platform, just what's working for you, right? And one really good response came from one of our clients who said, we average 2 listings for each marketed listing, all from L2L tools, Facebook ads, mailers, and open. Trying to get that to above 3. So what they're saying is every time they market a listing, they're getting 2 to 3 more listings, right? And that's an important thing to remember. People are looking for one solution, one tool that's going to get me listings. And there's actually a whole number of tools in our system that are going to help you get more listings. And some of them have to do with actually marketing a listing. So let's take a look into that. I've got a property here that has an open house on it. And if I click on market listing, we're going to see the tools that are designed to help get me leads, right? Now it's an open house. So the first thing we drop you on is Facebook. And to run an ad, you just click create an ad and that's going to get you buyer. That's not going to help you get listing. But there is a tool here that says share on seller social media. So this is really something that you want to incorporate in the list. It is in the listing presentation, but that's why I'm asking it. Read the listing presentation because you should be able to speak to internet marketing, right? Obviously you can speak to your brand, that's your experience, but you can also speak to social media marketing. You don't have to tell them that listing leads is doing all kinds of stuff for you automatically. You just got to tell them you're getting a lot of stuff done on social media. And what you should also be telling them is that you even have tools for them to use on their social media. So you've got a really good strategy for social media, for advertising, and for lead capture. And in the future, should they list with you, you're going to have tools even for them. And that's what this tool is, seller's social media. So it says, we've got an open house and you at your office are doing a lot of marketing. Please share this if you think, anybody would benefit from this. So let me show you what that looks like over on Facebook. And let's see, where is everything? So this might be a little bit confusing because my name is Vincent Meza and I'm talking about me, Vincent Meza, but this is it right here, right? That's what I was just showing. So you actually send this to your client. You call them for 5 seconds. Say, I just sent you something. I know you get 100 emails a day. Please put it on your wall. So you can see it says, hey, we're having an open house. You at your office doing a lot of marketing. Great. If somebody clicks on that, it's going to drive people right to this page. And this page has all kinds of lead capture. This can capture both buyer and seller leads, right? but it's not a Facebook ad. It's actually coming from the sphere of influence of your current clients, friends, and family and colleagues, right? You'll also see that I've got another one here for when the home is sold. And it says, hey, when it's sold, it says, our home sold, we want to recommend you at your office. Here's your phone number and email in front of all my friends and family. And if one of their friends and family clicks on this, well, we send them back to a single property website, but the property is sold, right? And when that call to action pops up, we're actually offering a free home value. So again, I'm going to show you how you can run home value ads on Facebook, but let me tell you, like, that's just a scattered approach, right? That's anybody on the internet or within your target can see that. And here, this is just the people who know your current clients. So these are really high quality leads. You don't get a lot of these. You don't get any if you don't use the tool. But our clients definitely like getting listing leads out of the blue without even paying for them. So I definitely recommend that. Roger, are these webinars recorded so I can go? Yes. So yes, Roger, we actually started the call with that. I said, there is a YouTube channel for listings to leads, and I sent it to everybody on the call. Maybe you weren't listening, but this call is being recorded and every call that I do is recorded. And if you go to listings to leads on YouTube, you will find this page here and then you can kind of check out our videos. So the seller social media, we just looked at that in my Facebook account. You got it for every stage. And I definitely recommended that you're definitely using it like just listed. If you do an open house, do open house, maybe pending, but definitely sold, right? There's an e-flyer that does the same thing if you like sending out emails. And then there's this, the nearby homeowner letter. This is the number one tool for getting listing leads that turn into listing contracts. Okay. So the point of this class is top tools to get more listings. And this particular tool is frankly the best tool if you like listing contracts, right? If you like to collect email addresses, I got better tools for that. But if you want addresses and contact information that converts quickly, this is the tool to get it. Okay. So if you go to your mastermind group or our mastermind group, I'm going to give you a couple names that you should look at. Excuse me. Before we get into those names, I see a question here. So let's see. Okay. When we search in the mastermind group, there are three names that I would want you to all search. All right. One is Chris Winstead. Another is Dustin Fox. And the third is Alicia Plus. And I'll show you why. Let's go to Chris Winstead. And Chris came in here a couple summers ago and said, hey, I got 5 listings in 3 months in my own neighborhood. Now, what he doesn't tell you in this is that he just moved to that neighborhood from out of state. He moved to Texas and he had no name because he just moved in from out of state. And this is what he did to apply that nearby homeowner. Let me download this so we can look at it real quickly and see what it is. And then so we can also see what it's not. It's not very sexy, right? There's no artificial intelligence in this thing. There's no, I don't know. It's not alternate reality. It's straight up, hey, we got an open house from 1 to 4. Take this piece of paper in your own home and go to your own computer and go here and find out about that house, right? That makes sense. It's a normal kind of life. What's unusual about what we do is we always are going to say, when that home is sold, that's going to affect your home value. And I'd like to invite you to get your free home. So go here. Okay. So let's think about what we're talking about doing here. We're saying download this letter from our platform and get it into your neighborhood, right? Now I've got clients, I'm not going to mention, but we've got clients that door knock that thing, right? And I know with COVID, nobody answers the door, but you know what? Nobody answered the door prior to COVID either. You just leave it behind and you keep going. By the time you get to your car, you're going to have listing leads. But what Chris is doing here is he sends that letter out every other week to his neighbors who have owned their homes for 5 years or more. So he got that list from Remind. And there are other companies that do sell that kind of information. Some of our clients get it from title partners. You just get a list of homeowners in the area where you're farming, where you're trying to build your business. And he says, once they opt in on the home value page, I hit them up every week with phone calls, bonbon letters, letters via mail, and letters left at the door. So I'm not trying to sugarcoat it for you guys. There is work involved if you want listings. This is actually the best recipe to get listings, right? Get it in front of people who have got equity, like Chris is saying. He does it every 2 weeks, so that's consistent, right? I know a lot of clients like to do things one time. It doesn't work. Well, that didn't work, right? That's not how real marketing and advertising works. And if you want to grow a business, certainly doing one thing one time is not going to change the shape of your business. But if you're doing it every 2 weeks and you're hitting people with equity and you follow up with those leads that respond, I think you're going to have some success there. Now, I will point out that was 2 summers ago. And the reason why I want you to look this up is that you should look at all the responses of what other agents are doing. You will learn a lot there. You'll also realize that at the beginning of this year, that Chris went off and started his own office. Chris kept using those tools that I'm showing you and became a top listing agent in his office. And he became so effective. He's like, well, I'm creating my own office. And his first recruiting effort is to teach agents how to use our tools, how he customizes them to get more business. So I would actually look up Chris's name. I also mentioned a couple of other names, Alicia Pless. It's worth seeing what Alicia's doing, and I can just boil it down for you. She puts her mailings in multicolored envelopes so that it doesn't look like junk mail. You actually slow down, look at it. There's also Dustin Cox, who was part of an office. He was a rookie agent, mailed this letter out to 250 homes first class, right? So that, again, people will open it. Mails it's 250 homes south of Washington, D.C., and pulls 10 listings from them. When he did this, I can tell you, Dustin was a rookie agent doing $5 million a year in an office of 300. He is now one of the top agents in an office, same office of 600 agents, and he's doing over 20 million in a 2-year period. And he tells us 80% of his business is coming from our tools. This is one of the key tools he's using, as well as Facebook ads and open house marketing. So there's also an e-flyer for your database, and this is very similar to the print nearby, the nearby homeowner letter, because it says, hey, we've got an open house up top. I click on that picture, that link, I'm going to go become a buyer lead. And then it's also going to say when that home is sold, that's going to affect your home value. Okay. So this is meant to be clicked up here, copied, and then take it to your CRM, take it to your MailChimp or Constant Contact and blast it out. If you're somebody with hundreds or thousands of leads, you want to use this, pretty often. Also in this area, in the postcard and door hangers, I definitely want to point out, this is an open house, but it is true even if I'm going to download the backside. If you have something just listed or just sold, our print marketing, just like everything else that we create, has call to actions. This is the back of the postcard for an open house. It says, when this home is sold, it's going to affect your home value. You can kind of get our theme here, right? A lot of agents have been sending out print tools for years, right? Why would they do that? Well, print's been around for longer than the internet, for one. But if you ask somebody their ROI on a print campaign, it's just like crickets, right? Nobody really knows. We do it as we think we're branding, and you might be branding, but in our world, our clients are actually getting an ROI, a return on the investment, because while they send out 100 or 200 pieces, few of those people will actually take that in their house and type in these web addresses and go get more information that they're looking for. And that's why if you're going to do any mailing and you're going to be in real estate, I recommend you get into our system and look at what we've got, because we've got postcards, we got nearby homeowner letters. We do have normal listing flyers. These look a little bit cooler. These are a little bit more like traditional, listing flyer for your property. Not going to just download one. We have many different styles there. but let's go look over here at this. I think in almost every case on these flyers, we always have that call to action to find out, do you have a listing? Do you have a home that you need to sell? And in this case, it's right there. Again, it's an open house, but we always make sure to find out, do you own a home? Right. So look, if you're doing print, I recommend that you use our stuff. Now, let's go back to the new right homeowner alert, because this is the top one. There is a new feature or partnership that we just launched about a month ago, and that is working with our new partner called Express Copy. Now, does anybody here use Express Copy? Has anybody used them before? I want to tell you what they do and why we're working. So when we look at the stories of Dustin Fox, if we look at Chris Winstead or Alicia Pless or any of the other agents that come to Mastermind Group in St. Louis, what's amazing to me is that they are doing it by hand, right? I mean, they're literally downloading that letter, folding it. Some of them are printing letters. Dustin even started paying people to handwrite the addresses on these envelopes. Why in the world would he do that? Well, that's because he wants people to open the letter, right? So I don't know if Dustin is going to try this. I'm sure he's going to look at it. But all those people were doing that all by hand, right? They were stuffing their own envelopes. Some people would mail it to a bulk printer. I don't know how that worked, but now we've got this company, Express Copy, who will do the mailing. They will stuff the envelope for you. And get this, you could also say, look, I want them to have 5 or 7 or 10 years of equity and be in this zip code. I want to send out 100 or 200 pieces if you decide. So now you're hitting a very targeted list. You're not actually even touching this thing. You're just connecting Express Copy and doing the mailing to that company. So that's pretty exciting. Scott and I are pretty excited. Just so you know, this is the number one way of getting listing leads, right? And turning listing contracts. The number one way to get buyers is to run an ad up on a property like this, right? And we're pretty excited because we've now made it very simple for people to get buyer leads or seller leads, right? So let's get back. So that's the listing side of things. Let's talk about landing pages. Now, when you get into landing pages, if you're new to us, I see a question here, so feel free to toss in your questions. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee. Does the Express Copy will send us the database of those? I don't think so, Victoria. I don't think they do. So the question is, if you use Express Copy and you're targeting this group of people, does Express Copy give you that list of contacts, right? I don't think they do. I think they just send it out to those people. So you can go find out, Victoria, by maybe asking. I haven't asked that question before, but that's the answer so far as that I get. So back to landing pages. You get 3 when you start. 3 home values, down payment assistance, and new construction. But you can actually create unlimited landing pages. Okay. And I want to point out that the number one landing page that you want is called Property Valuation Plus. Okay. Property Valuation Plus is the one that will give you an instant home value. And you can customize these things, right? You see, I've got a drone video in the back of one here. You can put in, your favorite picture or landmark on a page. Here's what I've got for Pleasant Hill. And in the background, I have the new mall, right? This is where the theater is and some nice restaurants. If you're in Pleasant Hill, which is one of my car markets, if you know this mall, you know Pleasant Hill. And that's something that you want to think about if you're creating a landing page, because what you're doing with a landing page is putting it in front of people who don't know you, right? And if they don't know you and you think that they're going to give you their address and contact information, well, who the heck is doing that anymore, right? It's just, oh yeah, I was going to sign up. You have to build some sort of trust. Running consistent ads or doing mailings in front of them so they know your name. Well, that would make sense. That would do that, right? But if you haven't done that before, you probably need to make sure that they feel confident that you know their area. And something like this can do that, right? This, I set up the offices around the country, right? Like these large team accounts and offices. And I do this training for those offices, right? To let them know, here's how you use these tools. And when we did this call, we talked about how all of these do, and they went out and started running ads and making landing pages for their home values for Summit, New Jersey. The manager called me like a month after we rolled out and said, you know, what's crazy? The number one ad for getting listing leads has a picture of Summit Diner. And that makes sense to me, right? It probably makes sense to you too. Like Summit, New Jersey has like 23,000 people, small town, been there a long time. This restaurant has been there forever, right? On Main Street. And this is where everybody gets their coffee and greasy potatoes on the weekend, right? So if you know Summit Diner, you know Summit, New Jersey, right? And that's really the point that I'm trying to get across to you. A lot of people think that on the back of their home value page, a picture of the new local mansions, the new developments is awaiting, but not everybody owns that kind of home. So you really want to choose a landmark that speaks to your neighborhood so that people feel confident that you know what's going on. After you develop that, after you get that landing page created the way that you want, click on edit. And it says edit and tools. And there it says advanced options. And when we click on the advanced options, there is a print marketing section there. And if we download this one, now you can edit this before you download it. This is a letter that you can use. We call it a home sold report. So you could edit this and say, you know, hey, 5 homes sold last month. The high is here. That's 200 for the year or so, you know, stuff like that. You want to keep it on one page. It's going to say that affected your home value. So go here to get your free home value. And so you don't actually need to sell a listing in a neighborhood to have a tool to get out and market in the neighborhood, right? Again, after you create it, you can door knock it, you can mail it, you can use express copy to get there. How do I get to the direct mail section you were in before you started with the landing page? So that company that we got there by getting to listings and going to marketing and going to the nearby homeowner letter. So the nearby homeowner letter is really where we have the integration. It's right here. Express copy connect here. This will tell you how to kind of start up, but you can basically start up your account and then connect it and then it'll be integrated with this. We also have express copy here, no, not here, on the postcards and door hangers because you can use them. And then, but we really kind of need it over here as well, because this page that I just showed you in the back of the advanced options can also be mailed with express copy, right? Let's see here, print marketing. Yeah, it really should be here too, but you can use express copy to mail this out. Well, same thing. You're targeting homeowners. You want homeowners with equity. You want them to stuff the envelopes. That would be the way to go. So it looks like we got a new one here. I'm going to download it because I don't know what that is. It doesn't look like it's radically different. I think we had 3 versions before. Yeah, this is a very simple letter. It's not a lot of reading. It's about getting people to the call to action. So I definitely recommend using that as well. Okay. So you can have unlimited landing pages. Let me show you how you create one. It's pretty simple. You go to landing page section, you click on create landing page. You hit the first option, which is property valuation plus, and you type in the name of your town, right? So whatever the name of your town, spell it properly because it shows up, capitalize the first letter because it's going to be on the landing page, and then create. That's it. And once you do that, it's going to drop you on a generic looking page, right? It's going to have either this weird, kind of suburban neighborhood like that, or it's going to have our famous coffee cup and laptop thing. Either way, it's really generic and people don't like generic, right? Again, you're trying to get people's name, address, and contact information, and they don't even know who you are. Generic is not the way to go. You got to really show people that you know it. So after you can create the page and you customize it, well, then you can use the ads section. And so let's go over here to ads. And let me ask a quick question. If you could just put a yes or no. Have you run ads with our platform on Facebook? Yes or no? And while I'm waiting for that answer, I am going to let you know that we're about to launch some new tools for Google to run ads on Google. And also tools will be there to help you get listings from Google. So let's get that answer if you guys run ads on Facebook. Let's see. Yeah, Jen, so you don't. It looks like about half of you don't. Well, maybe a little less than half. Can you repeat that from create a landing page? Okay. Wow. Let me just say this. Leah, can you repeat that from create a landing page? What do you need repeated, Leah? So I'd say more than half of you have not run ads. That's about 50-50. Let me say this. If you have run ads in the past on Facebook, it's way easier to run them inside of our system. Okay. And if you run ads on Facebook and you're trying to get buyers or sellers, you might know that it's not always effective. Like often you just you don't get any leads. And that kind of sucks because you keep hearing from agents like, oh my God, I'm getting so many leads and some that. And then you go over there and you go to Facebook and it doesn't work. If you go to Facebook and try to run an ad, God bless you. It's a nightmare. It is like not cool. It's got 4 pages and maybe 10 to 15 clicks that you've got to make. And there are so many opportunities for you to make mistakes that it's a really bad experience. What you may not know is when you click create a Facebook ad and you click create a listing ad or a landing page ad or a PDF guide ad, we actually have Facebook software embedded in this page. And no matter what you decide you want to do, we can tell what you're doing, right? And we have clicked all the buttons in the background on the software so that you don't need to click them all. You don't need to know where they are. You don't need to keep on top of it because Facebook changes stuff every week. No, you just say, you know what? I want to get listings. So I'm going to run an ad on a sold property. And I'm going to leave it on lead ads because I want name, email, and phone number. I'm going to click create an ad. Okay. This is one of the easiest ways of getting listing leads for Facebook. We pre-write the ad. It's not going to be sponsored by us. It's going to be sponsored by your business page. All you got to do is click publish. And that will go out there. It's going to capture their name, phone number, and email. And you should then take that and go use the landing page and get them a free home value, right? We're getting you the contact information. We also asked the question, how soon do you need to sell, right? I think 1 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, and then more than 6 months. If you get somebody that wants to sell in less than 3 months, I definitely recommend get moving fast on trying to convert that. So that's one way to run an ad is to run a sold property. And another way to run an ad is to do a PDF guide ad. If you click over here on PDF guide ad, you're going to see that we've got over 40 PDF guides for buyers and over 40 for sellers. So I'm going to run one here on the 5 dangers of overpricing. That's kind of becoming a relevant topic. You will need to type in the name of a town this time, right? And I'm going to type it now, although it's right in the corner. And you can expand the radius if you want, like 30 miles if you want, right? And publish. Now for people, if they want to download this, they're going to click on a button and they have to give you their name, email, and phone number. It's already pre-populated from their profile. So they can just click yes. And when they do, the link turns around and gives them the ability to download this report. So you don't even have to deliver it. You just run the app and you're going to get leads. And let's see here, do landing page video, all capture phone numbers. Yeah. All these ads that I am showing you. Here's Ian had a question, like, do these all capture phone numbers? Let me explain it to you one more time for everybody so that you don't miss it. So I'm going to run a landing page ad right now. I'm going to run it on, let's see here, Pleasant Hill. Here's the answer to the question, Ian. It says right here, lead ads. Every time you run an ad, we give you the option of lead ads or traffic. Frankly, right now, there is no reason why I would recommend any of you run an ad with traffic. What that means when you run an ad with a traffic ad is that when they click on the ad, they land on our tool. Okay. That's what a traffic ad. Some people run traffic ads to drive people to their home, to their real estate webpage. I don't recommend doing it. And I don't even recommend sending people to our pages anymore. And here's why, because if you use lead ads, they stay there on Facebook, but they have to give you the name, phone number, and email as it's pre-populated. And that's why lead ads are so powerful. And that's why we focus on them, because we've been here for 13 years. There's not another company that it can capture as many leads as our clients, as us, right? But leads with phone numbers are more valuable than leads with just email addresses. So we're using this because that's how you get the most amount of leads with phone numbers, is leaving on lead ads. Okay. Doesn't matter what kind of ad you're running. As long as it's lead ad, you're going to give name, email, and phone number pre-populated. What is the length of the video if you choose to use it instead of a picture? I have not seen an end to that. I've seen people put 2-minute videos, 3-minute videos. I don't really think people listen to anything beyond 30 seconds. I mean, we're in the real world here, right? And unless you're doing something fantastic on video, we're just going to move on. So you want to get to your call to actions quickly, tell them where you need them to click and what's your value prop and all that. Can ads go to your Facebook feed as well as to your Facebook page? Let me address that with a little bit of a long-winded answer, but this is important because it's really important right now. This is our mastermind group, and I brought everybody here today to talk about, that this is a good resource. And I also mentioned this right here, which is people getting hacked in Facebook and Instagram. What I didn't mention, it was kind of related to this, is that people are also getting kicked out of their accounts by Facebook. Okay. And here's why. You may not know it, or maybe you do. There's been emails coming out from Facebook to our clients around the country that things are changing regarding ads on Facebook. Okay. And this is because Facebook has had some problems with HUD, because people are running discriminatory ads on Facebook, right? In real estate. So they're making changes. And if you're making mistakes because you're going around their rules, if you're going around Facebook's rules and you're figuring out how to do that, your whole account can get wiped out and you have no way of getting there, right? You have like almost zero help to get your account turned back on. I spoke to a client on Friday who somehow got hacked, and he barely just got back into his account, and it was just a night. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because of Ian's question, which is, can you run these ads on your Facebook feed as well as your business page? That's what his question is. And I want to say no. I want you to know that the answer is no. And I want you to know why that is the case. It's actually against the terms of service of Facebook that you put your business stuff on your personal page. This is my personal page, right? And I've always got music stuff on it. I got pictures of my dog. I also have this on it right now, which is from, what we were just talking about earlier. These are business stuff, right? Whenever I show this on my wall, I move it to the trash. I get it off of there. And that's because it's against the terms of service for Facebook. Now, a lot of agents don't bother reading the terms of service, right? It's kind of like, the software from Apple when they're doing a software update. Do you read that big long thing that they send you? No, you just click accept. Similarly, nobody knows the terms of service for Facebook, but let me tell you one of the terms of service that you should know about. You cannot put business stuff on your personal page. So that is the short answer, Ian, to your question. Can you do that? Can you share that? Yes, you can. Can Facebook go and shut down your account because you're putting business stuff on your page? Sure, they do. They do it all the time. And is it really easy to get your account turned back on? It's nearly impossible. So I just want you to know that, because I'm seeing a lot of people getting their accounts shut down, and you probably don't want that. Okay. So let's go back to what we can do. And what we can do is we can run ads through our Facebook and Instagram accounts right here. Now, I've shown you how to do a PDF guide ad. I've shown you how to do a, a home value landing page ad. And I've also showed you how to, let's see what's probably, how to run a sold ad, a listing ad, right? So right now I want to talk about the cost of those ads. Okay. Now you may not know this, but let me give you an example. I'm going to do a PDF guide ad for homeowners on divorce and real estate, right? And, just so you know, what's the average homeowner? How long do you think the average homeowner owns a house in the United States? Anybody have it's a certain amount of years. The answer is something like 8 years, 7. Yeah. 5 to 7. It's like 7. I think that's right. 7. You know how long the average marriage is in the United States today? It is 8 years, right? 3. Okay, no. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. And it might be moving, because I know there's new marriages and those all move. But the point is, there are a lot of people buying homes and getting married, and there are a lot of people getting divorced and selling real estate. And so there's always a value for you to run a report like this. But that's not the point of what I'm showing you. What I want to discuss right now is cost per lead. So when we run an ad, if you're running an ad for homeowners, for listing leads, we always put a $50 budget. Okay. And that's because if you run an ad for buyer leads, we put a $35 budget. The reason we make it higher for sellers is that the leads cost more. Facebook sets the price on every lead. Okay. And it's not the same across the country, which is kind of amazing. So if I was going to run this ad in, let's say, Bend, Oregon, right? Bend is a small place up in Oregon, kind of like way up nowhere. And I run this ad, Facebook might charge me $7 or $8 a lead. If I run this same exact ad in New York City, Manhattan, they might charge me $15 a lead for the exact same kind of lead coming from this. Now, why would they do that? Well, they do it because they can, and they squeeze out the most money that they can. So what happens if they're charging $7 a lead? Every time somebody clicks and gives you their contact information, Facebook chews off $7 off of that 50, right? Now, on average, a lead from this kind of ad, from a PDF guide ad for homeowners, is $10 a lead. So if you're running an ad for $50, you're only going to get 5 leads. Does that make sense? And if they're charging you $11, well, you're only going to get 4 leads. So you kind of want to know my cost per lead when it comes to this for listing. If you run an ad on a landing page, right? Like, what is your home worth? Here's one for Modesto. If I run one like this, well, this ad's kind of been around for a long time. If you've been in real estate for a while, you might have seen this yourself. And because it's been around for a long time, Facebook knows it's a very valuable ad to realtors. So what do? They charge you the most per lead for this kind of ad. Okay. Now I want to point out that depending on where you are in the country, this ad could be ineffective, like not a good ad to run. For some clients it is, but for many it's not. So I want you to test it and be aware. I also want you to know that this kind of lead, or what is your home worth, home value is changing, can often be $12 to $15 a lead, depending on where you are in the country. And more importantly, what kind of competition, I think, is probably the big indicator. And then creating a listing ad. Remember, we started by creating a sold ad. Sold ads, those leads typically cost $6 to $7, like $6.50 a lead. So if you're spending $50 and you're getting leads at $6.50 a lead, or you're getting at $10 or $12 a lead, you're going to get twice as many leads with this. Does that make sense? And then something that just happened recently, which I'm really glad to hear. One of our clients came in the mastermind group and said, "Hey, I just ran a listing ad on a home that's in contract." And for some of you, you can do that. You can run an ad for a home that's pending or active contingent or whatever. And what's kind of interesting is Facebook doesn't know what to do, how to price that, right? So this guy was running a $50 ad and getting leads at $2.38 a lead, right? Instead of $15 a lead, $2.38. So you might want to test that out. Make sure you can do that in your market and then run ads if you can in those later stages, because the call to actions are still to help people get a free home back. I do want to also let you know that a lot of agents, maybe they're not the listing agent, but maybe they know a home sold because they helped the buyer buy the house. Well, then they'll just go and add the listing as a seller agent manually as the seller's agent and then run ads on that as well. Right. Or they use the nearby homeowner letter. So you've got some options of how to do that. So when it comes to ads, I want to point out that, what is your home worth at with a landing page has the most expensive leads. Next most expensive is PDF guide. And then after that, listing landing page or listing ads sold. And then if you might want to test out pending or under contract, because those seem to be cheaper leads. So we kind of talked about all the ways of capturing listing leads, right? By marketing your listings, by running Facebook ads, and also by using landing pages. Are there any questions about what we talked about? I know somebody, okay, yeah, let's see here. What's that? I think I see a question. Does that mean that at 11 an ad with $50 spent after 4 people, the ad stops? Yeah, I don't know. I think the ad stops, Ian. That's a good question. So let's kind of go through that example. So let's say we do how to avoid foreclosure. And there's a value of this. There's a value for you to run these ads, not just for capturing leads, but also just for building your brand, right? To let people know, like, you are a real estate resource. So if you once a month run this as hey, here's how you avoid foreclosure. I'm going to just type in Concord. Concord's right around the corner. And the question was, if it's a 7-day ad and I got $50 in my ad account and it's $11, so I get 4 leads, right? $44. There's $6 sitting there, but I'm not going to get a lead. I think your ad becomes inactive. I think you get a message from Facebook, like you run out of money. Okay. Now you could go into our system or directly in Facebook and say, increase my budget. Right. And that's one thing that I'll tell you, like, you can change this budget to $100. And once our clients, or whatever you want, once our clients get familiar with what's going on here and what the conversation is and how you're going to follow up, their clients run more ads because they want more listings, right? That makes sense. We just put $50 because we don't want you to get blown out with a big old ad, right? And then let's see a question here. Does the support team help us on those tech apps of L2L? I don't know what you mean on what tech apps. They're not going to click that publish button for you, like right here. Is that what you're asking, Victoria? What the support team typically does is, if you have a question, they're going to send you an answer, or they're going to send you a support page that has an in-depth answer, right? So what they don't do is come in and run the ad for you, right? But I think you can see that running ads is pretty simple. We also don't help clients get unlocked out of Facebook, right? If you're blocked out of Facebook, we don't have any ability to help you with that. If you've broken their rules and they kick you out, we cannot help you there. One thing I forgot to mention, but it's worth noting as you're kind of getting used to listings to leads, this is a totally side. If you have questions, I would definitely recommend you put them in now, because that's kind of the end of my story for today. In your profile, you might be talking to colleagues that are looking for something that's, solid and helpful. You can always get an affiliate link right here by clicking on this purple bar here. It says get 15% for free. You're just going to need to get an affiliate link. And the easiest way is to get your PayPal email, save it there, and boom, we're going to give you a link. And whoever you share that with, they're going to get a 3-week trial instead of 2 weeks. And so that's an incentive for them to work with you. And you get 15% recurring for as long as they're a client. So that's just in the profile. You'll always see it when you go there. There's that big purple bar. So let's see here. I have been trying to cover my entire coverage area with an ad. The problem is I live close to West Virginia, about 50-mile radius. Either takes me into West Virginia or way out. It takes me into West Virginia, way out of there. Okay. What you might do, let me create an app here real quickly. And then I'm not exactly sure what's being said, but I think this is going to work. Let's just say we're going to run that. We're going to run an ad on a sold ad, right? Or whatever in contract. We'll change it to sold. And Ian, what you're saying, you're doing a 50-mile radius. Is that I look close to us here. So if you're doing either takes me in or way out. So what area, so if a 50-mile radius is taking you away, let me show you how I might do things. I might say, listen, I want to do Pleasant Hill, California with a 10-mile radius. Oh no, you can't, just 15. So not 50, let's say a 20-mile radius. And I'm also going to do Danville. Danville is down the road a bit. But if I do 20 mile, now I'm doing 2 towns that are close to each other, closer, and it's not getting me out in that 50-mile radius. So Ian, you can add multiple towns in here to do that kind of thing, right? Jim, I don't know why scammers run ads. Well, actually, I think I do. I'm sorry, I do. They're not running ads on your homes for sale, right? Like if a scammer, this used to happen on Craigslist, it's certainly happening today on Facebook. When somebody hacks your account and your credit card is sitting there, I don't even know if they can see your credit card. I don't think that's the issue. What they're doing is they're running ads to sell their cars or to sell their things through your account and charging your credit card. That's why they're doing it. Oh, you didn't have an answer about the length required. Yeah. Yeah, Leah, I think that what we focus on are 15 to 30-second ads, videos, right? That's really my answer. I think you asked it a different way. Anything beyond 30 seconds is I just don't think it's getting you there, right? It's ads for their stuff. That's right. It's ads for them. So, but what they're doing is they're charging your card, and boy, they charge a lot right away. One of the fixes, just so you know, I hope none of you experience this. Like this client who just got hacked and blown out in LA, he somehow, and here it's just really frightening. I'm just going to go back to this in a second. Somehow he got his account turned back on, and Facebook put a $50 a day limit. So he can't spend more than $50, right? And that's cool, because if he got hacked and he's getting ripped off, you definitely don't want, unlimited ad spend. And so that's what Facebook did. Now I'm going to take us back to our mastermind group. Make sure you ask the support team to get you in the mastermind group. I'm going to remind you, like, people are getting hacked. Okay. And you're thinking you're asking to get in, they're asking you to get back into your account, but it's actually somebody phishing your login information. And that's how you end up getting hacked. Right. I'm really cautious when I get emails. I'm even cautious, at least once a week, somebody invites me on Facebook to be a friend who's already my friend. Right. And you might already know, like, oh, they must have got hacked. I know that they got hacked. Like a fake account is being created in their name. And then you're like, oh yeah, you can be friends. We can be friends because you're my friend, but you don't realize that it's actually a fake account. So just be careful with all that stuff. So that's my story today, guys. Any questions? Covered a lot here today. I want to remind you, the YouTube channel is here. I'm going to send it to you one more time. Oh, one more thing about ads, because we talked about the cost of ads. And since, over here, I don't know where you guys are, but it's kind of getting to feel like fall weather to me, right? The cost of ads, I don't really know if there's algorithms. I know people always like to ask me about algorithms. I'm just not even smart enough to deal with algorithms. But what I can see is right around Thanksgiving, a very large percentage of realtors take a nap until about spring. And our clients who work through that period start getting incredibly cheap leads, like, 20 cents for seller leads. It's because all the competition disappeared. So if you're going to be doing business next year, I recommend that you work through the holidays. You don't have to work a lot because you can just run an ad and have it run through the week, right? It's not like but a lot of people are going to go take a break in the winter. And if you're running ads every week, you're going to find that that's where you get your low cost leads. And then you got a database start acting on and working on for conversion as, the snow melts. So everybody, thanks for hanging out with me today. I don't see any more questions. Let's see. Oh, wait a second. Yeah. Yeah. I think this answers everybody's questions. If there are any questions, let me know. Otherwise, take care and get in the mastermind group, get on our YouTube channel, and just be consistent with the program. Just be consistent with the tools. It'll help your business. Thanks, everybody. This call is recorded. It'll be in our YouTube channel either today or tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody.